Hi, I'm Professor Jason Kovacic. I'm the Executive Director of the Victor Chang Cardiac Research Institute in Sydney, Australia. I'm also a cardiologist and vascular doctor at St Vincent's Hospital in Sydney, Australia. Also a Professor of Medicine at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai in New York. So I've been doing fibromuscular dysplasia research for well over a decade, and I really got into that starting back in the early 2010s when I was a postdoctoral fellow at the National Heart, Lung and Blood Institute in Bethesda. And at that time, I really started looking around and thinking, what am I going to spend the rest of my career working towards? And at that time, fibromuscular dysplasia was unquestionably the most common cardiovascular disease about which nothing whatsoever was known. So I actually got to Mount Sinai in about 2009. At that time, Jeff Olin had this very large clinic of many patients with fibromuscular dysplasia, and it was really a logical partnership that we formed with my interest in driving our understanding of this disease and Jeff having many patients with fibromuscular dysplasia. So we got to setting up a clinical protocol which we call the Define FMD study, which has now been running since 2012, so well over a decade. And we've now enrolled together well over 400 patients and controls with fibromuscular dysplasia, and we've been working on trying to understand the mechanisms of this disease through those data sets. I'm very pleased through that work and through many years of hard work led by Valentina Descamarade, who heads my laboratory at Mount Sinai, that we're right on the point of publishing a major paper that really digs down into what's at the basis of this disease and what really are the mechanisms of causing fibromuscular dysplasia, including particularly changes in what's called collagen and matrix proteins. I also have a research lab at Sydney, Australia, where we're doing a lot of work together with my team there, trying to understand the first gene that we ever found identified with fibromuscular dysplasia called PHACTR1 or PHACTR1. This is a really complicated gene, the first gene, as I said, that we ever found to be associated with fibromuscular dysplasia. And really so far there's been many studies looking at this gene, but we've really failed to grasp what is it with this gene that leads to us seeing this phenotype of FMD. So through our work on PHACTR1, we're starting to get to the bottom of this and starting to understand that it is profoundly complicated. It has many effects both at the cellular level and across the whole body. But with teamwork and working across Mount Sinai and the Victor Chang Cardiac Research Institute, we're starting to get there. I also have a significant clinical practice of fibromuscular dysplasia patients. They come to me from all parts of Australia, even some in New Zealand. And that practice has been growing since I returned from Mount Sinai back to Australia about 3.5 years ago. It's really been an evolving field, as you all know, watching this video, that there really is a lack of doctors with a great deep understanding of the disease, and I'm pleased to be able to offer my services to patients across Australia, not only with FMD, but also with spontaneous coronary artery dissection. So it's a real thrill to be at this meeting in Cleveland, and I'm happy to be able to share my story on FMD. Thank you very much.